So, here we go.
He was filled with childish frustrations and complexes. The police are searching for James Thomas.
Hello. You're listening to Midnight Movie Gang. It is currently 8:08 p.m. Night Movie Gang. And for those of you just tuning in, I'm LC. I'm here with Joseph.
Heyo.
And for those of you just tuning in, if this is your first episode, this is a show where we typically talk about horror, sci-fi, kind of like late night, like movie, like if you're just channel surfing on cable in 2005 and you come across just like weird late night, you know, foreign films and stuff, like that's our vibe. We're talking about some martial arts films today.
Yep. Hell yeah.
We're talking about these pseudo comic book video game ass.
Yeah.
The more and more martial arts movies I watch, I'm like, God damn, like video game guys must have loved.
Yeah, honestly, we reference a lot of video games on this show, but mostly video games are mostly just inspired by movies.
Yeah, so
that's like the core inspiration for most of the games I like.
Yeah, like a lot of action films in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, today we are discussing the Raid 1 and the Raid 2. The Raid 1, the Raid, as it was released in Indonesia, but in America they added Redemption.
Yeah, the Raid Redemption.
Which there is no redemption. Redemption is not...
Raid Dade Redemption.
The redemption is not a factor of the plot.
Yeah, there really isn't any redemption. There's more just like punishment for people doing bad things.
Yeah, nothing gets redeemed in the Raid 1. And then the Raid 2, which was released in Japan, is the Raid 2 Burndal, which I believe means criminal.
Yeah.
But the Raid 1 and the Raid 2, 2011, 2014 Indonesian martial arts. Not just martial arts. They're also just great action movies in general. There's great action beyond just the fighting, even though there is quite a bit of fighting. And yeah, Joseph, as we always start with, what was your history with these movies? What'd you know about them before we watched them?
So it's weird. This is like my exact kind of action. Like when I'm writing an action movie or whatever, this is exactly what it's like. Mm-hmm. It feels like I've seen this before, but I've just seen everything that
in your brain.
Yeah, everything that tries to imitate it. I think like this is the true source. It's one of those movies where Why
have you not seen it already?
Yeah, it's like I knew I was. I'm always like, I know if I watch that, I'm gonna really like it. And I watched it, and I really like it. I like both of them a lot.
Yeah, no, they are both really good. My history with these movies, my brain is. It's been a long day. We did our live show. Our live show at Needle Exchange Records and Tapes, which you'll be seeing all sorts of people at home listening. You'll be seeing all sorts of content for that coming out soon. It's been nonstop after that. We pretty much just started with the Raid.
Yep.
But yeah, my history with these movies, so in high school, in my big movie, so I think the reason why I specifically caught on to these is because at that time, the main guys I was following on YouTube was Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Jones, like those kind of guys. And Chris Stuckman was the first guy that I saw really talk about these movies back then. Like he saw them when they came out and like was like, yeah, these are just the best action movies ever.
They are the best, yeah. And they honestly are. I can't really think of action in movies that does it better than these movies, to be honest.
I've been wanting to rewatch these films for a long time, but a part of my brain is like, I hadn't seen them since high school.
Yeah.
And a part of me is like, are they really as good as I remember? Or do I just have like a nostalgic...
No, they're that good.
Fog, yeah, no, they're really that amazing.
They're that good. And two... one has a pretty good story, and two actually does have a really good plot and like acting and dialogue. It's all great.
Oh no, 100%. It is a matter of preference. I do think that
I like one a little more just because I like how condensed it is, and how I love a good simple story. Like these guys are trapped. Like it's like a super simple like high concept movie where it's just like these guys are trapped in a building full of criminals.
Yeah, it's a thing where it's like the Raid 1 is definitely more of just like a straightforward action film. It's an action premise. You are there for the fight scenes. But yeah, 2 definitely tells the tale of like a larger crime story about like a father and son and just
it's like crime politics and shit. And none of that is in the first one really.
It's a gangster film. I do think that like beyond the
first one's more like Dog Soldiers or something. Like you're just trapped with these fucking maniacs.
The first one is like a horror movie in some parts, especially with the in the first movie. Like I really like how it's literally like Dread. Like so the first movie, just to break into each of the individual movies, the first movie basically
It's like Dread.
Dread
Is like it.
Is Dread.
Yeah.
Is the plot of Dread. Basically, you get introduced to our main character. The character's name is Rama.
Yeah.
In these movies, but I'm going to refer. When me and my friends watched these movies in high school, we rewatched them over and over and over again in high school. He was the raid guy.
His name is Raid Guy.
And it always, because our dumb high school conversation was like, yo, who would win the fight, Batman or the raid guy? Fucking, like, or Jackie Chan versus the raid guy, who would win? And it was pretty much that. Legend of the Drunken Master was another martial arts movie you watched a lot. Blade, like you consider in that pseudo martial arts kind of world.
Yeah.
Rama would do pretty good. But yeah, he's the raid guy to me. So basically,
he's basically a superhero.
Yeah, it's like the raid guy. They do really efficient storytelling at the beginning of this movie. You learn super quick. Yeah. The movie starts with him working out, training,
being he's punching really fast, and you're like, okay, this guy knows how to fight. Good, established. You see him kiss his pregnant wife goodbye. Yep. He's got something to fight for.
He's got a family at home. Just like that's all you need to know. He's a good guy.
Yep.
It's a very training day opening. Yep. Basically we get told we get like a brief scene in the back of this like big SWAT vehicle.
Yeah.
There are all these like SWAT cops who are basically like, yep, there's a big bad guy criminal at the top of this big apartment building.
Yeah. It kind of looks a little like it kind of has like a little bit of like a sci-fi kind of thing. Like I wouldn't have been surprised if they had said that it was like set like in like the near future or something.
Yeah, it's I wonder how
that might be just like osmosis from Dread.
Yeah, I was about to say how much of that is Dread. I think another piece of the aesthetic kind of makes me think it was like some of the more sci-fi parts of Face Off or something.
Yeah, I
don't know. It seems more like part of it's like I really like the design of their suits.
Yeah,
in the first, that might just be what like the suits over there look like, but
it's probably just exotic to us, but
yeah, but it's I don't know. It's definitely a look that stands out. Plus, like. It's Raid Guy's uniform in the first movie. Like at one point they're like, you should probably change your clothes.
Yeah,
he's like,
and he's like, no, these ones fit me.
Nope, like this is what I wear in all the posters.
That's the most badass shit ever.
Yeah,
he's just like, if I'm gonna die, it's not gonna be from being a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Just balls of steel in this one, and just is able to back it up. But yeah, so we get this like a little briefing. We get another really just like this. The first movie just doesn't fuck around with. No. The pace and the information that you need.
That's the best thing about it. Is it's like this is an action movie. Here's our premise. Here's the action. And action sequences go on for quite a while, and then the space between them is very short.
Yeah, in the first movie, in the first movie. Yeah, the first movie, it's like it really is action, but then you get like a breather where you get some like interactions. But I want to talk specifically about how they introduce the villain.
Yeah.
Basically, they give like a quick flashback during the kind of breakdown in the back of the SWAT car to not even
show him being a bad guy.
Show him being a bad guy. He's executing he has a row of guys in front of him. He's shooting them all one by one, executing them.
Yep.
But then the last guy, he runs out of bullets, and he goes over to his drawer, and in his drawer, all that's in his drawer is bullets.
Yep.
And a hammer.
Yeah,
Which, by the way, they must have saw that hammer shot from the first movie and go, look, we can expand this for the Raid 2.
I like hammers. Hammers are scary.
And he kills the dude with the hammer instead of the bullets, and like just immediately showing without telling that this guy is just straight up. He's a monster.
He's a socio. He's like a sadist.
It doesn't matter specifically what he did. Just like that's he's a monster.
Just show him being irredeemable.
Yeah. The first third, or maybe like first quarter of this movie, is the cops like stealthily infiltrating this building. They're kind of taking out dude silently for a little bit.
Yeah. We do stealth for about 5 minutes. And then that gets blown right out the window.
Yeah, as soon as in a pretty crazy scene, like a kid sees them and Trigger basically yells, triggers the alarm like police are here.
Yeah. It's really tense. It's really cool because you see them just being brutal, but it's like you're like, okay, so they have to take this super seriously. Like they're like garroting people. They're waking people up by putting fucking duct tape on their mouth.
Yeah.
That like being silent is like priority one right now.
It is essential because
this shit cannot hit the fan right in here because we will all die.
I don't think they even realize necessarily at this point like how fucked they would be.
Yeah.
That they do become like once their presence is revealed.
Yeah, and then they turn a corner and there's this kid at the end of the hall and it's like, oh shit, he's like really far.
Yeah, and something I forgot and just like didn't realize. So the fun fact, another thing with these movies that I've owned both these movies on DVD for a very long time, like since I got them in high school on DVD, and I had always watched them on DVD. But for this viewing, I'm like, I wanted a high definition experience.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I saw these movies on Blu-ray, and I'm like, oh, these movies are actually
Very
both of them
pretty movies.
are very good looking. The first one, even for like, it has like a very desaturated color palette and all this stuff, but it's
just concrete.
But yeah, but it feels so dirty and it feels so lived in, and like the environment makes you feel just as trapped as the characters.
Yeah,
and also just the way they decide to shoot things, like there are sequences that are like horror sequences. Like you were talking about, like the thing, like there's a scene where like a dude's hands would just come out of the dark, and duct tape the guy.
Shit's scary.
Yeah,
it's a scary situation though. Like these characters are in like mortal danger the entire time.
Yeah,
as soon as they step in that building, they are like it's way more likely that they're gonna die than they're gonna survive, and that's communicated very well.
Yeah. But no, the first third of the movie is done very well. As soon as the alarm goes off, there's a quick, and this is all the bullets you get.
Yeah.
In this movie, pretty much is once it's revealed, it's a
pretty hardcore gunfight. Yeah.
Yeah, a pretty hardcore gunfight in the halls, but then also. You see, there are snipers just all around the building.
Yeah, because there's like a big, hole
operation
all the way through the building. Like, it's like Dread. Like
literally
it's levels going up, and then like there's a big cavity in the middle that you can look all the way down and all the way up.
Yeah, and you know, like Dread, the bad guy goes on the PA and is like, hey,
same exact personality.
same thing. The bad guy's like, hey. So there's cops in here. If you kill them, you live here for free.
Yeah,
you know, and like so that pretty much has just all of them being sicked on, and we lose like
the Machete Boys, which we'll talk about later.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit. Well, Machete Boys don't come; they're the scavengers. They come out afterwards. Like they don't do guns. After most of the cops get killed. We're pretty much down to like raid guy and then like the dirty cop guy, the tall dude, and another kung fu guy. It's pretty much these four cops left at this point.
Yep.
And
this is like a massacre at this point.
The one guy, the moment that I always see is like the moment where it becomes an action movie, is where it becomes a martial arts film, is when they axe the hole through the floor.
Yeah.
And then they jump through the floor.
They're trapped in this room, and they're just like they're all just panicking, like that door is gonna open and we're all gonna die. There's like no way out of here.
It's so fast.
One guy has the bright idea to fucking hack a hole through the floor.
Yeah.
He hacks a hole through the floor with an axe, and then they jump down. The camera goes down with them, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. This whole movie, even during the down scenes, this has what I think all of my favorite like pure action movies have, which is at no point do you feel like the characters are safe.
No. Yeah, it's like a horror movie.
Yeah, even during the not fight scenes, like someone could come around a corner, or like something can happen that'll just like set it all off. But once we're down to that, like we get our first fight scene with Rama, with Raid Guy, and we just see how much of a badass he is. Like I remember and the music also kicks in. Like there's some good. We didn't even talk about the music. The music in this first movie is great.
Yeah. This was like, who's the guy? It's a guy from Linkin Park.
Mike Shinoda?
Shinoda, I think.
Shinoda?
It's like they give us two options in the main menu for music, and it's like original theatrical score and score by Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park. So just in case you didn't know who it was, that's what it says in the option. And I'm so glad we picked that option because he did a great job. There is some like very dated like dubstep in there, but
I mean it all fit. It all matches
for the most part. It rules.
It all matches the energy of what's going on. It definitely does heighten some of the more crazy sequences. But yeah, I think the thing that makes a lot of the martial arts in this movie, like in both these movies, really stand out is the I can't think of. There's some more modern examples that I think I've taken from the Raid.
Yeah.
But before this movie, there has never been such a interplay between realistic violence.
Yeah.
And realistic in air quotes.
Yeah. Gory violence. We should say
gory violence with these kind of like martial arts moves where motherfuckers are flipping and using the environment and stuff, and like Just the way that like they use the environment, like they're slamming people's heads into walls and through walls and through glass, like constantly. People are just like,
hacking people up and shit. Yeah,
just hacking people up.
it's great. Yeah, no, the violence is super kinetic. It's super fast, and it's just well thought out. Yeah, and the stunt choreographer is in the movie, and as one of the coolest characters.
In the first movie, he plays Mad Dog.
He's in both movies.
who's like the right-hand man of the main bad guy. I can't find my phone. I want to look up his name.
He's in both movies as different characters.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he's in both. Yeah, I can actually look on my laptop. But yeah, no, he's a little guy, and yeah, he definitely has.
He's just a little guy.
The best fights in the first movie, and especially because like at first, and I love the kind of like reveal or like it's a humorous moment when you see he has a gun on one of the cops.
Yeah,
and he has him cornered, and the cop like slowly stands up, and you see how much taller he is.
Yeah,
than Mad Dog.
And this little guy.
And then it's a great fucking scene where like he takes him into a separate room, he disassembles the gun, and he has this whole speech about like, yeah,
that's great. Yeah, he's like, he puts the gun down. He's like, I never really liked using guns. It's kind of like ordering takeout. I really just like fighting people and killing people with my hands.
I like killing people with my bare ass hands.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's his whole thing. And then he's very good at it in the in the first movie.
He is.
Speaking of dogs, Poochie's back.
The dog is here.
Yeah. Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, great villain in this first movie. Yeah, just like they're so efficient with everything you need to know.
Yeah.
About these characters and like in order to make them memorable. And yeah, even beyond that, the performances that they get out of these guys too. And let's talk about the Machete Gang a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of
the Machete Gang, dude.
So yeah, so after the
scariest part of the movie,
after the gunfights are all done, the Machete Gang comes out of the woodwork to basically like hunt down the remaining cops, and it literally is just these like this small group of guys.
This dude's got crazy eyes.
The leader of the Machete Gang has these giant,
he looks
like red eyes.
He looks like if you made eye contact with him, he would cut your head off.
Like legitimately, like, and it seems like he's that way all the time. And the funny thing about that guy, I don't know his name, but he got the role from he was literally just like a delivery guy. Yeah, that was like delivering stuff to the set. And Gareth Evans.
It's gonna be the first. It's gonna be
the first of many.
Yeah.
Gareth Edwards saw him and saw his look and was like, "Hey, you want to be in the movie?
Yeah, you look crazy. You want to be a crazy guy in my movie?"
And that was just his first role, and he really, I mean, yeah, even beyond his big crazy eyes, like when he's intimidating the dude in the apartment, he's like he's scary. And that's another thing too, is like the well, it's after the initial Machete Guy fight, or no, it's before. Yeah. When great fucking sequence where Raid Guy is hiding in this apartment. There's like one kind of like guy that he can trust in the building, and they're hiding in this like little space in the wall. Yeah, him and this other cop who had his ear blown off.
Yeah, he hides in this like little soffit behind the wall. Yeah, and Machete Guy comes in. And he's like, "Where are they?" And like, of course, of all spots for him to stab with the machete.
Yeah, which you had said while we were watching that didn't necessarily make sense, but the way I view it is like, this is not the first time they've had to hunt people in this building, and I'm sure that like the layout of a lot of these apartments, like when you go from 4 floors, is pretty same. So he's probably run into other people who have hidden that little area in like other apartments. In the building, you know,
probably. And all the apartments are laid out exactly the same. And he's like, that's the cavity where you hide people.
I've had to hide there before.
Guns and drugs. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, no, and then basically Raid Guy gets like the knife.
He gets his iconic cheek scar
across the face, and he like it's held there because
it looks like it's really going in there too.
Yeah, no, it's a really good like practical effect, and it's a very
all the gore is super good in both of these movies.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And there's a lot of it too. These movies are a hard R violent.
100%. They get nasty.
Yeah. They're like slasher movies almost, but with kung fu or with so I don't know what's the name of the martial art.
Salat.
Salat.
Silat. It's the Indonesian. It's a lot of elbows and knees.
A lot of elbows. Yeah.
It's a lot of close. It's a very, very kind of intimate, like almost like overwhelming your opponent type of martial art, and it's
super close.
It's one that like part of it was like Gareth Evans, like living in Indonesia. He would saw this martial art and it's like, oh, like this is something we've never. This could be good in a movie.
Yeah, this would look really cool.
And he was right. But no, as far as like the rest of the movie, like it's kind of like there is the closest thing that like Rama has to like a little arc is that so his brother is the other right hand man. I forget his name of the big bad guy, and he kind of helps him out in the situations, trying to help him escape.
Right.
And there's a little bit of like a double crossing thing happening there. Basically there's two more really big set pieces in the movie after that point. There's the drug lab fight.
Yep.
The drug lab scene, which is which is the largest scale brawl in this first movie.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really great. The score is great in this scene. There's a lot of really good kind of like sound effect. Like the sound effect in the scene that always gets me is that at one point Rama like fucking slams a guy into a brick wall, and like or the concrete wall, and you just like the sound of the concrete hitting this guy's head,
like caved his face in. Yeah,
is just so nuts. And we get the video game moment where they're fighting along like a long table.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, they get up on the table and they do like their Street Fighter
fight.
Shit. Yeah,
their 2D fight, and they knew what they were fucking doing there.
They did. Honestly, this movie is just such a great example of like how you can shoot action.
Yeah, no, it's very much a thing. Like I always say, as far as like action movies like this especially, but like a martial arts film, action movies, live action, seeing what the limits of the human body is capable of, kind of thing, is something that only works in the only film works as in an art form. Like you could not make The Raid the book. No,
that'd be really lame.
You could definitely make The Raid the video game.
Yeah, no, because it's like there's manufactured drama, which is what most of movies are. Mm-hmm. But you can't really fake being able to do this shit with your body. Like that's still like a spectacle. Like that's still like going to the circus.
Yeah, that dude got thrown through the window. He actually got thrown through a window.
Yeah, these guys can actually move their fists and elbows that fast.
Yeah, no, it's insane. This is making me want to play. We have Sleeping Dogs gameplay happening in the background.
Yeah, it's a great game,
and it's making me want to play it for sure. But yeah, so there's that scene, and then the big final boss fight. Which after watching 2 and 2, I think that this final boss fight is my favorite fight in both films. Yeah, is the 2-on-1 Rama and his brother versus Mad Dog. Yeah, in this one room. This fight just gets so gnarly. That's
my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah,
because it's funny because he's already got this dude chained up, and he's already kicking his ass. Mm-hmm. And then Raid Guy comes in, and he turns around and he's like, oh, hell yeah, I never get to fight 2 guys at one time. So he releases that guy. Yeah. And he's like, it's all good. I'm still going to kill both of you.
Makes it a more even fight. Yeah.
And he would have if they didn't cheat.
100%. Oh, you think that was cheating?
Yeah,
them using the glass?
If they had just done hands, he would have kicked both of their asses, and they would have both been dead.
The way the fight ends is that they
fluorescent light tube.
They knock out the fluorescent light tubes in the ceiling, and one of them stabs Mad Dog in the neck with it. But then after they stab, like he's got blood spurting out of this goddamn tube,
and he's still kicking their asses.
He's still fighting for a good amount of time.
He's still winning the fight after that.
Yeah. While blood is actively squirting
out of his neck tube.
He's just still like going hard. And then finally they get him, just like they have to drag the tube across his neck in order to like finish him off.
Such a great scene. Great movie.
Yeah, and it's crazy. But yeah, the bad guy gets killed by like there's another
a dirty cop, and he's
there's dirty cop. It's another thing in the plot.
Not why you're here, but it's good.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like the whole thing is kind of rigged.
Yeah.
And the dirty cop kills the main bad guy, and then
It's a good story.
And then
it's just not. It's overshadowed by how good the fucking action is.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, yeah, the story
2 kind of balances it out a little more.
Yeah, 2 definitely takes it as far as like
but I prefer 1.
Yeah, the simplicity of 1 is really what it comes down to.
It's like I'm playing a video game. That's really it. I just have a short attention span.
Yeah, no. 1 is just like the perfect like it's an easier movie to show people because of how short it is. Like, yeah, bro, you haven't seen The Raid?
Yeah, I hadn't seen it. Yeah, I hadn't seen either.
Yeah, I think the nice thing though with The Raid 2 is like it's the kind of thing where if you do show people the first Raid movie, they're automatically going to be like, oh, well, now I got to see The Raid 2. Yeah. And The Raid 2 is still very, very, very good.
Oh, my God, it is.
It is.
You will probably, like, the first half of the movie, you'll be like, wow, this is really different. And then the second half, you're like, oh, my God, this is like The Raid 1, but with, like, a bunch of story injected in between the action scenes.
Exactly. And, like, in some
the action scenes are just as good, if not a little better at points.
They're definitely more dynamic.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that just has to do with, like, they have a bigger budget, but not even that much of a bigger budget.
Yeah, very slightly.
But, like, there's way more environments at play here. The first movie just takes place in this ratty apartment building, but in this one we're like fighting in cars, and we're in restaurants, we're in crazy hotels, we're out in the streets, like
there's a lot.
Nightclub,
and that I love a movie that all takes place in one location, so that's another bias that I have.
Yeah,
I like let's fully explore this space and see everything we can do with it.
Exactly.
That's why Dread's cool, because it's like it's the same concept, but it's like here's this mega building that's like a city or like a town in and of itself that's completely overrun by criminals. Let's send in cops to try to take it. Dread really is just the same fucking movie, isn't it?
It is the same plot.
Dread's really good though. I don't want to discount Dread.
Yeah, well, Dread's
got really cool sci-fi.
Dread's got more to play with. It's got a better. I think Dread has more well-defined characters, and like it also has like
Dread doesn't have. I think the action in The Raid's way better.
Oh, well, it's you're never gonna beat. Yeah, you're never gonna beat this. Just as far as like we've talked about in the past, like why. Like kind of overseas action films, like Asian action. I don't want to be
exploitation
broad across the board. Yeah, it's just like the fact that like the rules around labor laws and safety are just like way.
That's why you can shoot a movie like The Raid 2 with $4 million.
Yeah, but also just in general, same. Not just like with the actual stunts themselves, but like they work much longer hours. Like they don't have the same kind of, which awful for the people, but. I like the movies.
Yeah, I'm not gonna not watch that. Change your laws, and I'll support that. But until then, I'm gonna watch these movies. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not gonna not watch it.
Yeah.
Fun fact with what's it called? Slight tangent. So Iko Uwais is the guy who plays the raid guy in these movies.
Yeah.
And the dude who plays Mad Dog, they both were cast, and before Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out, there was an announcement, like they were slowly announcing that those two guys were going to be in The Force Awakens.
Oh, really?
And they are. I don't know if you remember in Force Awakens, Conja Club, the guy that they come to see Han Solo.
Yeah.
And they're like, Han Solo, we're here to get our shit. That
is him. Oh, shit.
It's both of them. It's Iko Uwais and it's Mad Dog and Raid Guy.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, when I saw their cast, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to play, like, badass Jedi.
They don't do anything.
They don't do anything. They don't do any
They just show up.
They show up and they get killed by the Rathtar creatures.
That's lame.
Yeah, no, I remember being so pissed when
those sequels are just disappointment factories, aren't they?
Yeah, just everything after another. Because, like, imagine, like, these guys in, like, lightsaber fights.
Yeah.
Like, as, like, Jedis or Sith or whatever. Like, ugh. It would have been so...
That would have been fucking awesome.
It would have been...
They should have been the protagonists.
It would have been so incredible.
Yeah.
A foreign language Star Wars would be really interesting. But anyway. But yeah, with the Raid 2... Yeah, so the Raid 1 ends really simply.
Yeah, they get out. He gets out. And so does his brother, and then they have a conversation. It's like, I'm going to still be a criminal. You can still be a cop.
Yeah.
And then he dies right at the beginning of the second one.
The Raid 2 opens up with Rama's brother getting killed for the events of the Raid 1. And then Rama, the dirty cop that he brings out to get arrested, they kill him because the cops are like, well, he's just gonna die anyway.
Yeah,
like there's so much corruption that he's never gonna make it out.
Yeah, they have like a secret society of corrupt cop killers.
Yeah, there's a secret unit of cops who kill corrupt cops.
And also
but in kind of
infiltrate gangs and shit.
Yeah, like it's a whole thing, and they bring Rama into the underground.
Because the cops are just like a lost cause in these movies.
Exactly.
Like they're just so horribly corrupt that like the only way to actually get anything done is completely outside the law.
And it's a thing where it's like, I guess the closest thing you call to a plot hole. I mean, it's something where it's like Rama's motivation, or is like why he sticks so hard to this, doesn't make as much sense to me in part 2 as it does in 1.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like it feels like he's pretty resistant to the idea of going undercover at first in the Raid 2. But then he puts up with like a lot of bullshit from it. Like they tell him he's only going to be in jail for a few months.
They completely fuck him over.
Yeah. But he's in jail for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fucked up. So like yeah, basically that's the kind of movie this is. Like he's an undercover cop. He's supposed to get friendly with the son of like this politician gang leader guy who's in jail. And it's more of like
a lot more political. It's almost like crime Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's a thing where it's like
power plays and shit.
I think about like removing just the amount of time that is in between each fight scene in the first movie versus the second one. In the first movie, when we're not fighting, we are still in like survival mode.
Yeah,
like we're hiding in some apartment in the first movie. Like things are still moving like that. But in the second movie, between the fight scenes, it's like boardroom meetings between these like gang leaders and politicians. Well, it's well written.
Yeah, I think the Raid 1 is just one semi-small story. Yeah, and the Raid 2 is almost like a saga of like the ups and downs of this like failing criminal enterprise.
Yeah, this criminal enterprise that's kind of collapsing.
Yeah, and there's we meet characters and then characters die and then we meet more characters, and it's a lot more grand. Like, yeah, there's a lot more going on.
You could the Raid 2 could almost be cut up into like a Raid miniseries or something.
Yeah, it could.
There's
enough action scenes. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's got kind of structure. Well, yeah, that's the thing too, is that like
I was surprised. I wasn't expecting the action to be as good as the first, but it is.
Yeah, it's just as good, and if not, more dynamic. I mean, if you put them all on the time to so the Raid 2 is about 2.5 hours long. The Raid 1 is about 1.5 hours long, and they probably have comparable, if not the Raid 2 has more fight scenes, but they're just so much more spread out. But I mean, like they start right off the bat with like probably my favorite fight scene in the Raid 2, maybe not in terms of spectacle, but just in terms of concept, is the bathroom fight, which is the first one. Yeah. Because it's a whole fight scene. Like basically there's like dozens and dozens of guys trying to get at Rama in this bathroom.
Oh my god. It's pretty cool.
And he just pulls in like guys like 2-3 at a time, and he's
fighting in this bathroom stall. This movie does a few like super close quarters fights like that. Like there's one in the first movie in an elevator that's pretty good. Which is one guy with a knife versus 2 other guys.
Yeah, that's a quick one, but it's a good one.
But there's in this one, there's the bathroom stall. There's a couple cars. Yeah, and I can't imagine that's super hard to plan for, because there's only so much you'd think you'd be able to do.
That scene must have been so hard to film in general, and they do like a lot of interesting things with the camera in that scene as well.
Yeah.
We're kind of jumping all over the.
It's fine.
But just as far as we can just talk about this fight scene was cool.
You're not watching the Raid for the story. The story is good, but that's not why you're here.
Yeah. But there's that prison fight. There's the first fight that shows you the kind of the bigger budget they have, and it's one of the more visceral ones. Is there's a big fight in the prison yard where it's like raining, and it's just this big muddy, like thick mud. The mud.
Oh my god, it's like clay.
Yeah, it's like clay. It's just this like super thick mud.
I don't know how they made that for the movie.
Yeah, well,
it's very impressive.
These criminals and riot cops are like fighting in the mud, and it makes it so much worse because people are getting cut and their limbs are getting torn off.
Yeah, you're like, that's gonna get infected. That's gonna get infected.
All the mud that's getting into it is just like, oh, so great. Like I think one of my favorites is when Rama like bends the guy's leg back and then puts it back into place.
Yeah, that's 100% just so they could be like, he broke his leg, but also we have to move this actor around so his leg's back where it was before.
Exactly. Just such a good fucking scene. And there's some of the more violent parts are in there too. I will never forget the first time I saw this movie. There's a shot during it's not even a fight where, and you don't. a dude is like ripping a dude's
his
mouth
jaw open. Yeah.
like some Godzilla shit,
like King Kong did to the T-Rex.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the camera's moving by while it's going, and you see like just as his
he's getting like this Joker smile. It looks real. This movie, like, there's like horror level gore.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and
That's how you make action feel real. You make it look like it really, everything fucking hurts really bad.
It all looks great. You know, it's interesting balance in this movie between there is some CGI blood. Like, there's a good amount of CGI blood, but
it's pretty seamless.
It's pretty. I think it's because like.
I don't know why it looks so good. Usually that shit bothers me. I think it's because the CGI blood is actually landing somewhere and is sticking somewhere.
Well, because you see the characters in the environment actually getting more bloody. Like,
yeah.
Your brain can kind of put together like, okay, even though the blood is CGI, I'm seeing the real effects of it.
A lot of the time you see CGI blood, it just like
dissipates.
Yeah, it just like evaporates midair.
It disappears in the years.
That's the worst.
These characters get fucking bloody.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's that scene. There's so many good. One of my favorite shots in the movie, just action wise, is and one of the more interesting environment. Like, you go on like a couple of missions.
Yeah.
With Rama, and like this one, they go to this one of the memorables. They go to these
porno freaks.
The porno freak. They go to this, like, I guess it's like you call it a studio or something. This place where they produce illegal porn, and you see all these like labels on these CD cases, where it's like bestiality and weird shit, you know.
It's like classic female like bathroom sign and a horse, classic male and like a dog. Yeah,
no, it's like fucked up shit is being made here.
They've got their branding down to a T.
Yeah, and they go there, and it's a real nasty place, and like basically Rama's boss is trying to get more money from these guys, and actually it's more of like
they're trying to push drugs in our territory.
It's more of a shootout than it is than a fight scene, but there's a really cool shot that another one I like when
thrown through the window.
I like when the camera follows the movement of the characters, like this little guy. There's a lot of good uses of little guys.
Yeah, a lot of good little guy utilization.
Yeah, there's a little guy who's the head of the illegal porn studio, who he's running along the long table, and when he jumps through the window, the camera, it's hard to explain. We're looking at him head on, and as he jumps sideways through the window and lands on his side, the camera also turns to its side.
Yeah, a lot of the camera work is like that. Even in the non-action scenes, you can see it like kind of going through walls and shit, following people in a really dynamic way.
That's another thing. I wanted to ask you, so would you call these movies... Literally, the camera is shaking, but would you put it in the same realm as like proper, like a shaky cam action?
No, at no point was it bothering me, which is what makes it not one of those movies.
Yeah, you could still
shaky cam is often used to like hide the action, and these movies are not interested in hiding the action.
Yeah, like part of it is that they just don't cut away. Like
yes,
also,
long takes.
Yeah, and the fact that the camera does match the energy of what's.
And we're not cutting. There's a lot of following the characters, and that's it. No, I think it's really good camera. I think it's shaky cam used to good effect.
Yeah, used very well. It's also, I feel like the first movie, it's a bit more shaky, but I think that's also because it's a more scrappy, grounded, smaller scale thing. But yeah, no, in that. One thing I did want to talk about though, as far as like a thing that I really think I think it was cool, but it was something you could definitely remove from the movie.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Mad Dog from the first film plays a different character.
Yeah.
In the rates, he's like a homeless assassin.
It is like a completely like amputatable part of the movie.
It's like it feels like a deleted,
it's like an episode,
a deleted sequence. Yeah, like a spin-off episode.
Yeah, because we meet him. And he has like 2-3 scenes, and then he's dead.
We get a little scene seeing that like he has a strained relationship with his kids. Are your cats okay?
That's just they fight.
They're fighting.
Yeah, they're just playing.
Some fighting cats in the background.
That's
folks.
how they be.
So like, yeah, we briefly meet him. We see that he has a strained relationship with his kids, and he's just this like assassin who he's been working for the main crime family in this movie for a long time. Yeah. And basically the whole purpose that he's in here is that the son of the big gangster guy in the movie wants to take over his dad's like throne, basically.
Yeah.
And he wants to start this like artificial war. He wants to start this chaos so that he could take advantage of it to kind of take over or whatever.
Yeah.
And it starts with like, we need to put a hit on one of our guys that we've had for a long time, and they decide to put a hit on the homeless assassin man.
Yeah, of all people.
And it is a really cool fight scene. Like, they're in this nightclub, and like 50 guys enter the place, like all just here for him.
Like he shows up and the place is really busy, and he has a conversation with the boss's son guy, and then that guy leaves, and then he notices that everybody in the place is completely cleared out.
Yeah, instantly.
Yeah. And then in classic awesome martial arts movie fashion, a bunch of goons run in at full speed and prepare to die.
And he just takes them all on.
Rips through them in the coolest possible way.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a really good scene, but I just feel like that character part of it might just be maybe they had to spread out his story more, or make him more, maybe him and Rama.
Yeah, he feels a little shoehorned in.
Maybe like him and Rama like first meet in prison. Like maybe he's there from the get-go.
Yeah. In
prison, and they have like a little bit of and maybe they.
I mean, he's got like character to him. I don't
No,
know.
he does. I just think it's his placement.
It feels very awkward and like and forced in.
Like, he doesn't really have a relationship with any of the other characters in the movie beyond the son. Like, and even then, we only see them have one conversation.
Yeah.
And then also, like, his story is contained in just this like small part of the middle of the movie. Like, I feel like
it is very contained.
If we had met him earlier, even if we had just like, what is?
They're playing with a toy.
Oh, okay. Sorry, folks, distracted by the cats. Like we would have cared about him more. Like, I don't know. It very much felt like it didn't have an impact at all on the rest of the story going on.
Yeah,
I agree. It would have made like a good like we had too much footage, so we have this extended short film or something.
Or like I know what you mean.
Yeah. Pretty soon after that, we get introduced to three new characters. Like, even more than halfway through this movie's so damn long, we're introducing new characters. But they're still really efficient in terms of like what you need to building up intrigue and what you need to know. Like, we get introduced to three. The Japanese gang, like the opposing gang, has these three assassins. They have Hammer Girl and Baseball Bat Boy,
and they are connected in some way.
Yeah, they speak sign language to one another.
They care for each other.
We don't know if they're siblings. We don't know if they're like romantically
like you said,
together.
It's like they have like an expansion comic somewhere.
Exactly. You could read the Hammer Girl. And
they had like a whole weird backstory. Like, because later she gets her sunglasses kicked off, and you see one of her eyes is all fucked up and scarred.
And you're like, oh, how did that happen? It's
no
old.
explanation.
Yeah,
it's a little character thing, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, no, I think it's fun. Like, as far as like, they give you these little intrigue. Like, why do they choose the weapons they do? Also, he doesn't literally just beat up guys with a baseball bat. He uses other baseball paraphernalia. Like, he will literally.
Yeah, he has ranged attacks too, where he'll knock one at you.
He'll knock a baseball at you and
inhumanly
it'll just fuck you up.
hard that it'll like pass through your brain.
Yeah, I remember that. How do I put this? Part of me is thinking that, in retrospect, as a teenage boy, I probably rewatched the Hammer Girl fight, not just because it was a really good fight, but because I'm like, yeah, it's a badass chick. She's hot and she's
hit me with a hammer.
Yeah, like there's this one part where she does the kind of the Black Widow move of like she has like her thigh wrapped around a dude, and before she kills him, I'm like,
she does kick ass in this movie. They're both very dangerous people.
Yeah, Amelia don't fuck around, and I like how their kind of scenes where we see them fight are intercut with each other really well. Yeah. There's those two, and then there's kind of like he has these like interesting looking knives.
The Mad Dog of this movie.
He has these. He doesn't say anything.
No.
Actually, I don't think he has a single fucking line in this movie.
He doesn't really talk. Yeah.
But he has these two. I don't know what these knives are called. They're like up curved like knives.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
They're really interesting looking. But that's his signature weapon. We don't see him full on fight for a little bit, but like he's kind of the leader of this little trio of assassins.
Yeah.
He is the big bad at the end of the movie, which we'll talk about that fight.
Yeah.
But
that is my favorite fight scene in this movie, by the way.
Yeah, is that end fight really is incredible.
That protracted fight scene.
Not
two evenly matched fighters.
Not even just how it ends. I love how it begins. We'll just talk about that scene.
Yeah. But
I love how it begins when like they first see each other.
There.
And they don't have the only other scene is like there's a quick fight between Rama and we gotta talk about the car chase. There's just so much. There are some.
Oh my god, that's my second favorite action scene.
There are definitely more action scenes in this movie, but it's just hard to tell.
They're further apart
because of just how it's paced.
And they're more varied.
Yeah, but talking about that end fight right now, just because it's what's in my mind.
Yeah,
I love how when they first start, neither of them have weapons out, but they're both martial artists and they both like get into official positions, you know, like the way they kind of inch in towards each other, and there's this level of respect there.
Yeah, you can see like, all right, I can see that you also know how to fight properly, so I'll give you that amount of respect.
Worthy opponent. And then as it kind of goes on, they start to like use objects and use weapons and stuff as like it gets more dire. But like, yeah, it's in how it starts, like they walk into the kitchen and all the cooks are like working on something, and they see Rama walk in, and they just put their things down and just walk out, calmly, like, okay, not again.
Yeah, they're like, okay, this is not a chef movie.
And they just they fuck each other up. The timing is really primal. They're both hurting each other so much.
It's such a long scene. And it's such a it goes on for like 10 minutes. Like it's a long fight scene, and it's like at any point you feel like either one of them could be beaten. It's super tense, and like the stakes are there, and you like feel for these characters, and you're definitely rooting for one of them. No.
I think another thing that like it's something. Another thing that's great about something we talked about Jackie Chan a little bit earlier in terms of something that Jackie Chan has, and like what makes his action good is also the same thing that Rama has, in that like they both get hurt.
Yeah, they do.
Like they're the biggest badasses around, but
they get cut up. It's honestly like, I think we referenced Die Hard with the Raid 1.
Yeah,
it kind of is like Die Hard, but John McClane knows how to fuck people up
like
really well.
Yeah, no, just like seeing them get injured and seeing that, like, you know, there's this element of like, oh, they could die.
Yeah.
Is something. Yeah, no, but did want to touch on the big car chase fight.
Which honestly, that fight alone, that scene with this car chase fight, that is what makes it so shocking if this movie was only $4 million.
Yeah, no, like it was a big set piece.
That scene looks expensive.
Like, yeah, and the cameras
they're doing all kinds of crazy shit with cars.
Interesting thing, there's one part where like literally, and it's how they did it, the camera starts outside of a vehicle.
Yeah.
We're inside of that vehicle for a bit with the camera. It spins around, and then it leaves that vehicle and enters another vehicle. And they literally just pass the car.
Yeah.
I mean, pass the camera through these cars.
Yeah,
like
it's
three
like
times.
moving at full speed.
Yeah. No.
There's like fighting inside. There's multiple scenes of fighting in the backseat of an SUV, and like one guy versus like the 4 other dudes.
It's like a super dynamic, and then like people are constantly being like thrown out of cars, like drag. Like there's this one part where I think the dude there's like an open car door on the road, and he gets slammed into that open car door.
Yeah. A lot of people get thrown out of cars, thrown onto the pavement.
Yeah.
There's 2 guys in 2 cars fighting each other, and one just generally outsmarts the other one.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. Like, I don't know how you choreograph a car combat scene like that.
No idea.
Outside of like Mad Max.
I mean, yeah, no, it's extremely well done.
Fantastic.
Good
movie.
I think another element of like why I was hesitant to kind of rewatch these. So there's I might be throwing my buddy under the bus here. So my buddy, he's been on the show before, Corey, is a big fan of this movie. And it's the same filmmaker that does it. Have you heard of The Night Comes for Us?
Yes.
Iko Uwais, the Raid guy, he's actually the bad guy in that movie.
Cool.
And it's another Indonesian martial arts film, but it's not as good as The Raid.
Damn.
And I think part of it might be it's not filmed as well. It's just not as polished.
It doesn't have that.
Something about it doesn't have. It's very
on
close.
The same level. Yeah.
Like you could confuse some of like the non-fighting scenes in The Raid for scenes in that movie, but like something about, I can't even say, like the energy, the speed, the ferocity just hits different.
Yeah.
Versus The Night Comes for Us, and like my buddy Corey actually prefers The Night Comes to Us.
Interesting.
From The Raid.
All right, well, we'll have to watch that one too.
Yeah, we have a night comes. Me and Corey have a night comes first episode that me and him did.
Sick.
On
Cool.
the pod.
You already did.
Go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Joseph, I recommend like you.
This is a plug.
Check it out. It's on. That movie is like on Netflix. It was actually released on Netflix in 2018.
The night comes on us.
The night comes on us. Yeah, but no, there's a bunch of people from the raid in that movie.
Hell yeah.
But he's breaking into the car. Yeah, no, fucking yeah, and basically upon seeing those, I'm like, well, if these are so similar to the raid, then like the raid's not gonna hold up as well. But
no, but the raid fucking rules.
Yeah, no, yeah, it did. It's a thing where it's like, you know, we're still seeing. I wish that the guys like because I do think they are genuinely great performers, not just as stunt people. Like I want I remember thinking like, oh, I want to see these guys in more high profile films, and like I said, oh, they're going to be in Star Wars, they're going to be in that, and then Iko Uwais, he was in Ash.
Oh shit,
he was the captain.
Oh right,
Rama.
Okay. And he does do some fighting in that movie.
You know, and it's like, but
I completely forgot about that. The Ash went right out my brain. I gotta say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it really didn't have the sticking power.
I remember like 2 shots being cool.
Yeah, but no, like, yeah, it's a thing where it's like, I don't know, the action. These movies came out a while ago. The Raid 2 came out 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like we just, I don't know, we haven't had I remember
John Wick, I guess.
John Wick is the closest thing as far as like the action paradigm, but
I guess, yeah.
There had been talks for a while about a Raid 3. An early version of a script that was talked about for the Raid 3 was actually going to be it was going to completely take place during like kind of, it was going to be like a continuous how do I put it? It was going to take place between the car chase and Rama going to the warehouse in the Raid 2.
Yeah.
And it was going to be like one continuous, like, it's just him trying to survive, like, movie. And
that would have been fucking cool.
Yeah, that was the original concept, but just it never congealed. And I guess Gareth Evans, he also said that, like, you know, we just couldn't find anything that I, like, felt satisfied with, like, as an artist. And,
yeah.
I don't know what he's gone on. I don't think he's gone on to make any more movies since then. I think he's worked on some TV stuff.
It's crazy because these movies rule so hard.
Yeah, they do rule so hard. I was looking at Wikipedia. I don't necessarily know how much so on Wikipedia it says that the box office for the first movie is $9 million.
Yeah.
Like total, which I don't know if
that's insane.
I don't know if that includes like DVD sales. I probably do, if it's box
People
office.
know about this movie now. It's got to be more than that.
Yeah, no, if you include like, you know, like streaming, like whatever afterwards, it's got to be. But the second movie, The Raid 2, it says total box office was $6 million.
Yeah.
So I guess it didn't make as much. And I think a part of it might be I didn't hear about The Raid 1 until The Raid 2 came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's got to be.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Got to be some kind of demand.
You said 2014 was the year all the best action movies came out.
Yes, every good like studio action like crowd pleasing movie came out in 2014. John Wick, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Captain America, Winter Soldier, which are the best. Those are the best MCU movies right there.
Goddamn, 2014 there was something in the water.
X-Men Days Future Past, the best X-Men movie. Mad Max Fury Road came out that year too.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh, Whiplash came out that year.
Holy shit.
Birdman came out that year.
God damn. 2014. Can we get another one of those, please?
2014 was the best year in movies. Hot take.
God damn.
That's
just when everyone was like, all right, we can drop all the gloomy bullshit post 9/11 America. Now we can just focus on making a fun movie.
Well, I feel
and then America was like, that's cool. Never mind. We don't actually want that.
I do feel like in that time, like, there were big budget, like, original IP, original story films.
Yeah.
Like people invested money into making movies that were just good.
Yep.
And, like, MCU included,
You're kind of doing that now.
What?
Yeah, you're kind of doing that now.
Not to the same extent as, like, like A24 and stuff. They're all in that, like, sub 10 million, even, like, kind of 30 and below.
That's
kind of thing you give, like, a Jordan Peele or an Ari Aster, whereas, like...
Fox Searchlight.
Whereas, like, back then, you know, all those movies I mentioned, like, I think Mad Max Fury Road's budget was in, like, the 80 million range.
Yeah, holy shit.
And, like,
that
yes,
movie
like...
bombed.
Those, like, Whiplash even, I think, had, like, I think Whiplash was more in the $30 million range, if I remember.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's the burp. But yeah, but
Taco
no,
Bell.
like that. The Taco Bell's coming back. But yeah, no, those kind of like mid to high budget original IP action and crowd pleasing action and drama movies that like are meant to connect to a wide audience. Just like
I just keep thinking about Monkey Man.
yeah, Monkey Man would have been the kind of movie.
Monkey Man tried.
In there. Monkey Man tried.
Monkey Man has some good stuff in there. Monkey Man is obviously very influenced by the Raid, by the way.
Oh, 100%. Like actually you can look at a lot of like the modern era action movies that have come out since the Raid. There's a lot of
Raid in
like John Wick
yes.
and stuff. And
absolutely.
Even Fast and Furious, actually one of the Raid guys from the first movie is in one of the Fast and Furious movies, and he's got some fight scenes. So
cool.
No, these movies have had their influence for sure, and like they're I do think in a way they are a very good gateway to getting into more martial arts films as far as like I think
absolutely,
despite them being gory, they're accessible, especially the first one. The first one is so quick and so clean and so neat. It's like a perfect little like
I love it. It's a bottle movie.
Yeah, it's just it's a fun time.
Yeah.
And then the second one is a really nice expansion on the world of that first one.
Right.
And it's definitely a thing where it's like you watch the Raid 1 and you're like, well, now I gotta watch the Raid 2.
Yeah.
So
then you're like, fuck yeah, that ruled too.
It's really good one to it. But like I said, in high school, I definitely rewatched the Raid 1 as a movie more than 2.
Yeah.
I just looked up the fight scenes in the Raid 2 on YouTube. Afterward, I was like, Hammer Girl fight scene.
Damn.
Hammer Girl.
Lock the door, Hammer Girl fight scene.
Hammer Girl Tumblr. Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Who would be... Who in the Raid fighting game, which we talked about a lot during, like if they made a Raid, who would be your main?
Probably Hammer Girl, to be honest.
Hammer Girl?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Mad Dog.
Mad Dog, maybe, you know what? Homeless Mad Dog from the second one.
Homeless Mad, that'd be your skin.
Yeah, that'd be the one I'd play as him with the machete.
That's fair. I think I'd want to get really good at baseball bat boy. Get good at just hitting them baseballs.
There's some like weirdo that would get really good with machete guy.
Shit,
wide-eyed machete guy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, reminds me. There's a couple. You know what? I just realized like there's like a signature weapon does a lot.
Yeah, it does. Well, it's you make a character, you give a character a weird weapon. It's the same. Like I think about some characters from like Kill Bill too. Like I think it's just a standard of martial arts movies, where it's just like make a character like weird and interesting, and then it's really satisfying when you beat them.
Makes me think about me and Courtney have been watching a lot of Walking Dead. And there's a lot of characters in that show that have
signature
weapons. Negan with his baseball bat, Morgan with his stick.
Seeing the Matrix now.
Yeah, it's all coming together. Really fun characters. I would love, even if they don't make more movies, I think that you could do some cool like we were joking about like, oh, the baseball bat boy Hammer Girl comic. I think that'd be a dope ass like graphic novel.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
With like some cool art or whatever.
Because like there's something going on there. There's an interesting story behind all that.
Okay. Here's my question before we get into props. Something. Okay, if they were to do a Raid video game, like in the way that we talked about, where it's like an Arkham style, like your fight. What game studio right now? Who today do you think could do it?
Rocksteady, I guess.
Are they still making? What didn't
they made that Suicide Squad game? That liked. Like Rocksteady without like publisher intervention.
With that kind of interference.
I don't like. I guess like an indie dev like there's that Sifu game that had promise, but then like lost me pretty quick.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like an indie dev that you'd throw a bunch of money at. That's like proven themselves, like because I get like big like Hotline Miami vibes, or super ultra violent, but like just super polished, refined fighting, and you can make it really linear.
Period.
With like these arenas, like it's like make it first person.
I remember in I feel like I remember in Uncharted 3 and 4. they introduced into the combat like some environmental interactions, like Nathan Drake. If there was a bottle, he'd like grab a bottle or whatever. And I liked how, and those games are so cinematic. The raid is so cinematic. I feel like if you wanted to do a more linear raid game, you like someone like Naughty Dog, I think, could do something.
Well, Naughty Dog can do anything.
Yeah, especially if we're talking about like with the violence too in there, like they'd also be good at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, and now props. Pick a prop from each movie, because I think there's a good amount from. Oof. Part of me wants to take a signature, but a lot of the signature weapons are just like normal shit. Yeah, that people have.
Man, that's a tough one. Actually, I can't think of a lot of props.
Rama's beginning jacket in his
some cool clothes.
His GTA jacket. Yeah, there are some good fits. I really like the police uniforms in the first movie are also good.
Yeah, they are.
But
it's hard. I can't think.
It is kind of hard.
It's mostly just weapons that I'm thinking of.
The final boss's weird knives from 2.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think might be what I would want to take from 2. Part of me,
I don't just want a hammer because I have a hammer.
You gotta have 2 hammers. Yeah, the claw hammers. She has some cool sunglasses. Maybe your sunglasses.
Yeah, I like your sunglasses. I'll take those.
Or didn't we were talking about maybe the Japanese got his cane?
Yeah, it's a cool cane.
From part 2.
Yeah, it's mostly cool moments rather than things in these movies.
Yeah, the items aren't necessarily like where it's at for sure.
Yeah,
I think the curved knives are the closest thing to like
those are the coolest.
A weapon iconography in either of these films. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's the raid. The 1 and 2. Check them both out. I don't know where my phone is. They're probably streaming on something. They're available to rent on something. Yeah. They're definitely worth.
You can get the Blu-ray.
Renting, get the Blu-ray, support physical media. They're not these also if you're in the second-hand market like they show up pretty. I feel like the raid movies show up pretty often on Blu-ray and DVD secondhand if you're a secondhand person in the Midwest, half price like books is in something I'm going to explore when I move soon. In New England, there's a New England chain called a regional chain called Bull Moose. Yeah. That does like physical media.
Bull Moose.
Like used physical media, secondhand stuff, and like at least in the secondhand markets I check out, I see Blu-rays and DVDs of the raid movies popping up for cheap. Like each one was $6. Yeah. And on Blu-ray, and I'm happy I have them. And
they look good. They look nice.
No, check them out.
The second one looks really nice.
Yeah. Indeed. Please go watch them. Next week we're probably going to talk about hackers.
Hell yeah. That was a fan request.
It was a fan request from a fan we talked to today. I bought the VHS of it. So we're going to watch it. Thank you so much for listening. You can check us out at Midnight Movie Gang on Instagram, anywhere you listen to your audio podcast, at Midnight Movie Gang Podcast on YouTube. I'm gonna once there might be a weird lull like around the time I'm moving, but after that, like I'm gonna have more time to make more shit, so more shit will be pumped out.
Will arrive.
But till then, keep listening, and thank you so much, and have a nice night.
Bye. I love you. Bye.
Bye. It is 9/11 night, Movie Gang. Oh no.
Oh no.
Have a nice night. Bye.
Bye.
The childish frustrations and complexes which the police are searching for James Thomas, believed to be the lover of Miss Williams, and her partner in the horrible murder of Walter. Grant everybody that I'm here to hold on. Oh, please tell me where they've gone. Please tell me. Sorry, I don't know. How could I got in here? 3 tickets to Albany on 6 o'clock train tonight. What do you think?